Hi, how you doing? This is Mr. Fight Madness, and I'm here to talk to you about UFC 139, Cung Lee versus Wanderlei Silva. So a lot of people are talking about this fight between Wanderlei Silva and Cung Lee, and people are saying that Cung Lee is gonna win, Cung Lee is gonna beat up Wanderlei Silva, and that Wanderlei Silva is basically past his prime and has a glass chin and horrible reflexes. And also some people are saying that Wanderlei Silva is not the same Wanderlei Silva that used to be in Pride. And I disagree with all of these comments. And it's not just because I am a Wanderlei Silva fan that I'm saying this. It's because, if you look at Wanderlei Silva today, he looks much better. I mean, he's much quicker. He's much quicker. He has a much better body. He seems to be training much harder. And he's training with much better competition. Whereas before he was only training, basically with Chita box in Brazil and only training basically Muay Thai, stand up and some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he does have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so you gotta respect that also. But now he's training with wrestlers. He's training, he's doing a lot more training with wrestling and stuff. Before he never did that. And his diet is much better. He's in much better condition now than he used to be in overall from what I can see. And the Chris Leben fight, in my personal opinion, is basically a fluke. It happens. The best of the best get knocked out. Look at Fedor. Look at Fedor Emelianenko. He got knocked out by Henderson. Who would have thought that he would have been knocked out by Henderson? It happens. But for you to say that, Fedor Emelianenko is done now because he got knocked out by Henderson, that's so bogus, It's bullshit. So back to the fight at hand. I think that Cung Lee is an awesome stand-up fighter. He has some amazing stand-up skills, some of the best, I think. If you look at all the MMA fighters today, Cung Lee definitely is one of the best, if not the best, stand-up fighters out there. But all around, Wanderlei Silva is a better fighter because Wanderlei Silva has decent stand-up. He has decent Muay Thai. He has better ground game. He has a better ground game than Cung Lee does. So when the fight happens, my personal pick is that Wanderlei Silva will beat up Cung Lee, and I think it's going to happen on the ground. It's going to be either a submission or it's going to be a ground and pound. More than likely, it's going to be a ground and pound. And but then again, it can happen stand up too, because if you look at Wanderlei Silva's power stand up, his power, and then you compare that to Cung Lee's stand up power. Cung Lee doesn't really have much in his arms, he doesn't have much in his hands, what I mean? Whereas Wanderlei Silva stand up on his hands has much more power in his hands than Cung Lee does. As far as Cung Lee's kicks and stuff, yeah, very lethal. Wanderlei Silva is gonna have to be very, very careful. But I'm going for Wanderlei. I think he's gonna beat up your boy Chris. What's his name? Cung Lee. Cung Lee has one chance, and that's if he can keep this fight standing. If he can keep it standing, and if he can make this fight go longer, the longer the fight goes, and the longer it stays standing up, the more it favors Cung Lee. But I'm still, like I said, I'm still picking Wanderlei Silva because I think he's a better fighter. And for all you people that are disrespectful and saying, that Wanderlei Silva should retire and that he's past his prime, fuck you, fuck out of here. Anyway, I gotta go.